Human dangerous fleet arrives in the war zone, wipes out, crushes the enemy without warning. HFY the galaxy had always looked at Earth with curiosity, suspicion, and sometimes amusement. For centuries, humans had watched the stars with wonder, dreaming of reaching distant planets, but the galaxy outside had largely ignored them. Many species thought humans were weak, young, and unprepared. They believed Earth would never be more than a small, harmless planet, easy to push aside when galactic politics turned sour. Captain Jack Carter had spent most of his life preparing for something he never thought would happen so soon. He had been a starship captain for only 5 years, yet he had seen more than many officers would in a lifetime. His ship, the Intrepid Dawn, was a small exploration vessel, sleek and fast but not heavily armed. That had been by design. Humans had chosen long ago to hold back. After nearly destroying themselves in wars that spanned decades, humanity had learned a hard lesson. Power needed control, and restraint could be stronger than fear. Jack leaned over the ship's control panel, watching the blinking lights and holographic maps. He was scanning the outer sectors near the Orion Expanse, a dangerous region where uncharted wormholes twisted through space like tangled threads. His first officer, Commander Ryan Cole, stood beside him, arms crossed, his sharp eyes scanning the readings. "Captain," Ryan said, pointing to the display, "something's moving out there. Large ships, fast, not local traffic." Jack frowned. "Show me the signature." A three-dimensional projection of several ships appeared in front of them. They were large, sleek, and dark, with red lights running along the edges. Jack's stomach tightened. These weren't trading vessels or explorers, they were warships. "Viewerks," Jack muttered. The name felt heavy in the room. The Viewerks Dominion had long been one of the galaxy's most powerful military civilizations. They were ruthless, efficient, and had a reputation for crushing weaker species without mercy. Ryan leaned closer. "They're moving into the human sector." "Not scouts, this is a full-scale movement," Jack exhaled slowly. "I warned them. Earth warned the galaxy what would happen if anyone underestimated us. They didn't listen." The warning had been repeated many times over the past decade. Earth's diplomats, led by Ambassador Claire Dawson, had visited the main councils of the Coalition, the Union of Galactic Civilizations. They had spoken calmly and clearly, telling every species that humans were stronger than they appeared, that their apparent restraint was not weakness, that any attack on human colonies would bring consequences no one could survive. But the galaxy had laughed. They had dismissed Earth's warnings as arrogance, stories told to make themselves feel bigger than they were. Humans were young. They had weapons, yes, but nothing the combined forces of the galaxy could not crush. That was the universal assumption. Jack didn't smile. "They still don't believe us," he said quietly. Ryan nodded grimly. "Then they'll find out soon enough." Back on Earth, the leaders were already in action. Admiral Kevin Harper, a man in his 50s with a stern face and calm voice, had been overseeing human defense preparations for weeks. While most of the galaxy thought humans were peaceful and timid, Earth had secretly been preparing, not out of fear, but from experience. Humanity had learned in its own history that waiting to be attacked often meant losing everything. Dr. Lily Brooks, a brilliant scientist in her late 30s, worked in one of the classified labs deep beneath Earth's surface. She studied alien communications, analyzing intercepted signals for weeks. Today, she leaned over her console, eyes wide as the truth became clear. "They're not just testing us," she said to herself. "They're coming for the colonies." Her assistant, a young technician named Miles Turner, looked worried. "Do you mean full invasion?" Lily nodded slowly. "Yes, they think we're bluffing. They think humans are weak. They think our warnings were just words. They're going to pay for that mistake." Meanwhile, Ambassador Claire Dawson watched the Galactic Council's meeting from a holographic feed in her office. She rubbed her temples in frustration. The council was debating trade routes, minor territorial disputes and cultural exchanges, completely ignoring the messages Earth had sent for years. Each time she tried to speak, representatives from other species interrupted, mocked, or dismissed her points. "They don't listen," she muttered. "Not a single one of them listens until it's too late." On the front lines, Captain Jack Carter and his crew didn't wait for permission from distant councils or debates. They prepared the intrepid Dawn for the incoming attack. Engineers ran through the engines, weapons systems, and shields, checking every detail. The ship was not designed for large-scale war, but humans had ways of making small forces fight like a storm. Ryan checked the crew roster. "We've trained for this." "They think they'll scare us because we haven't unleashed everything we have. They don't know us," Jack nodded. "They will." The first Vierx ships entered human space at high speed. They were confident, their formation tight and aggressive. Sensors aboard the intrepid Dawn detected dozens of vessels approaching human colonies. The humans could have panicked, retreated, or begged for mercy. But that wasn't their way. Jack called the crew to the bridge. Today, they learned something important. Humans are not weak. "We do not strike first unless provoked, but we do not forgive aggression. Prepare for defensive maneuvers. Stay sharp. Stay alive." The Vierx fleet fired first, sending plasma blasts toward a remote human mining colony on the edge of space. The explosions lit up the darkness like miniature suns. Civilian evacuation ships scrambled, but the colony's defense systems, secretly upgraded, responded with precision. Shields flared, energy beams shot back, and one by one, Vierx vessels were disabled. Ryan watched, amazed and grim. "They think they can take us with a surprise attack. They think humans are simple, easy prey. They don't understand what holding back means." Jack's eyes never left the display. "Holding back means we're stronger than we need to be. We let them think we're weak so we can teach them a lesson they'll never forget." Elsewhere, Earth's leaders coordinated the response. Admiral Harper had authorized the activation of the Strategic Defense Network, a system hidden from the galaxy, designed to deploy ships, satellites, and automated weapons instantly. Civilian colonies were evacuated under military escort, and human fleets that had been quietly exploring distant systems were recalled. Dr. Lily Brooks worked feverishly in her lab. "We've built the technology to defend ourselves," she told Miles Turner. "But it's not just defense. Humans are going to show the galaxy what restraint really means and what happens when you push us too far." Ambassador Claire Dawson, watching the council, finally spoke. Her voice carried a quiet authority despite the mocking aliens around her. "Earth warned every species. We have not lied, nor have we exaggerated. If you continue to ignore us, the consequences will be yours to bear." For the first time, silence fell over the council. The words were clear. Humans had been holding back. Humans had the power to destroy, but they chose not to until now. The Vierx didn't care. They had always considered themselves superior. To them, Earth was a nuisance at best, a tiny planet with little influence. They assumed that when humans reacted, it would be delayed, weak, and ineffective. That assumption would cost them dearly. Jack watched the Vierx ships approach the next colony. "Hold fire until they are close," he ordered. "Let them see the humans. Let them feel the mistake they made." The first wave of human ships arrived, emerging from warp jumps around the Vierx fleet. They were small in number but heavily armed. The Vierx laughed before the first shots hit. The battle was brutal and precise. Human weapons moved faster than Vierx sensors could track. Energy beams sliced through hulls, disabling ships without unnecessary destruction. Every strike was calculated, every move deliberate. The Vierx fleet, confident in numbers and technology, found themselves outmaneuvered by humans they thought would be easy to destroy. Back on Earth, Admiral Harper monitored the reports. "They've underestimated us," he said. "Every time they push, every time they think we'll hold back, they're wrong. Humanity does not forgive ignorance of warnings." Meanwhile, Dr. Lily Brooks analyzed intercepted Vierk's communications. She smiled grimly. They thought we were bluffing. They thought our warnings were empty. They're going to learn the truth. They're going to pay for ignoring Earth. Ambassador Claire Dawson watched quietly. She had fought for years to make the galaxy listen, and now humans would prove that restraint was not weakness. Jack Carter looked out at the stars, watching the distant colony fires and the chaos in space. "This is just the beginning," he said softly. "They ignored the warnings. Now they'll see what happens when humans stop holding back." And so, the galaxy began to realize that Earth had not been powerless, not unprepared, and certainly not weak. Humans had chosen peace, they had chosen restraint, but they were also capable of delivering a reckoning that no one could escape. In the darkness of space, the first true battle had begun, and the message was clear. The galaxy had been warned. Humans had held back until now. The battle had only just begun, but it had already changed everything. Humanity had revealed a small fraction of its strength, yet the galaxy could see it clearly now. The Vierk's Dominion had expected easy victories, but humans were proving something they had ignored for decades. Earth had been holding back on purpose. Captain Jack Carter felt a mix of pride and focus as he steered the intrepid Dawn through the chaos. Explosions lit up the darkness, and the remains of Vierk's ships drifted silently in space. Despite the destruction, he kept his mind sharp. Victory was only possible through discipline and strategy, not just firepower. "Captain," Commander Ryan Cole said, pointing to a holographic display, "they're regrouping, more ships coming from their outer sector. They must have reinforcements ready." "This could get worse before it gets better," Jack nodded. "Let them come. The more they attack, the faster they learn." Humans had always prepared for the moment when the galaxy doubted them. Hidden fleets, advanced weapons, and secret starship technology had been kept quiet for decades. The galaxy assumed humans were small, simple, and peaceful. Now the mistake of that assumption would be exposed. Dr. Lily Brooks worked tirelessly in the Human Command Center on Earth. She monitored Vierk's transmissions, analyzing data as fast as it arrived. Her fingers flew across the console as she decoded messages full of confusion and fear. "They don't know what to do," Lily said to Miles Turner, her assistant. "They thought they could crush our colonies in a day. They thought humans would beg for mercy. They're realizing we are not what they expected." Miles nodded, staring at the screen. "How long before they figure it out?" Lily smiled faintly, though her eyes were serious. "Too late for them. Humans have always held back. We've restrained ourselves, even when we had the power to strike first. Now we're showing them restraint was not weakness, it was patience." The galaxy ignored that patience, and now they will face the cost. On the battlefield, Jack's ship moved in perfect formation with a fleet of human warships emerging from hidden jump points. Each vessel was smaller than the largest Vierk's dreadnoughts, but they were fast, smart, and heavily armed. The human ships worked together like parts of a single machine. Every movement was coordinated, every attack precise. "Open fire," Jack ordered, his voice calm and steady. "Hit them where they least expect it. Focus on the command vessels first. Disable them, don't destroy unnecessarily. Let them feel the shock of human precision." Energy beams shot out from human ships, striking the Vierk's vessels. The attackers were confident at first, but the human tactics were different from anything they had faced. Vierk's ships tried to maneuver, but the humans anticipated every move. In moments, several command ships were crippled, leaving the rest of the fleet confused and disorganized. Ryan smiled grimly. "They underestimated us. Always, they never learn." Jack's eyes stayed on the display. "We make them learn, one battle, one mistake at a time." Back on Earth, Admiral Kevin Harper oversaw the larger defense network. Human intelligence had revealed the full scope of the Vierk's plan. They had prepared to attack multiple colonies simultaneously, hoping to overwhelm human defenses. But Admiral Harper had anticipated this. Every colony had hidden defenses, every fleet had secret reinforcements, and every attack had been mapped out. "Deploy the secondary fleets," Harper ordered. "Let them think they can escape us. Let them see that no matter where they strike, humans are ready." Thousands of miles away, Dr. Lily Brooks discovered something in the Vierks communications that made her pause. "They are panicking," she said. "They don't understand our technology. They still assume we're primitive, but our ships are more advanced than they know. Every system they relied on is now a trap." Meanwhile, Ambassador Claire Dawson continued to negotiate through holographic channels with the other species of the galaxy. She had spent years trying to warn them about humans' power, but now the tables had turned. Instead of pleading for help, she calmly observed the shock in alien faces as human fleets turned the tide. "They are realizing the truth," she said quietly. "Humans have been holding back for decades. They ignored our warnings. Now they see what restraint really means." On the battlefield, Jack Carter received an urgent message from one of the remote colonies. The Vierks were attempting to break through with suicide squads, small vessels loaded with explosives aimed directly at civilian populations. "Ryan," Jack said, "you and your team take the northern flank. Stop them before they reach the colony. Precision only. We're not here to destroy everything, just to protect and teach them a lesson." Ryan nodded. "Understood, Captain." The northern flank moved quickly. Ryan's fleet intercepted the Vierk ships, disabling their engines with pinpoint accuracy. The human crews operated calmly, almost surgically. No civilian lives were lost, and the Vierk ships were left floating, powerless and drifting. Jack looked at the display, watching the other sectors. "This is the moment," he said. "This is when the galaxy begins to understand. We warned them, but they ignored us. Now they see what happens when humans act." Even as the battle raged, the human strategy remained disciplined. Every attack was measured, every move designed to protect human lives and demonstrate strength. The Vierks, on the other hand, were disorganized and desperate. Their confidence had turned into panic. Ships collided, weapons misfired, and commanders argued over what to do next. In one of the control rooms aboard a human battleship, Lieutenant Sarah Miller monitored a Vierk ship that had tried to flee the battle. "Captain, one of their vessels is attempting to escape." "Should we pursue?" Jack shook his head. "Let them go. Their mistakes are teaching the rest of their fleet. No need to chase them yet. Patience is part of the lesson." Miles Turner watched Dr. Brooks, fascinated. "How can humans fight so efficiently?" "We are smaller in number, but we are winning against the Vierks." Lily smiled faintly. "Because we are humans. We have learned from our history. We plan, we adapt, and we never underestimate our enemy. The galaxy has underestimated us for too long." On Earth, the Council of Defense prepared for the next wave of attacks. Admiral Harper spoke to a room full of officers. "They thought we were weak. They thought we would hold back, but humanity is not weak. Our restraint was a choice, not a limitation. Now the galaxy will see what happens when we stop holding back." As the battle continued, Jack Carter realized something important. Humans had the advantage not just because of technology or strategy, but because of mindset. The Vierks fought to conquer and control, thinking fear could dominate. Humans fought to protect and survive, and that drive made them unpredictable and unstoppable. Dr. Lily Brooks intercepted another Vierks communication. "They're asking each other if Earth is hiding more weapons. They don't understand. We have never hidden the weapons. We held back because we wanted to, not because we had to. That is what terrifies them." Ambassador Claire Dawson smiled faintly. "It took them too long to listen," she said, "but at least now they are learning the truth." By the end of the first day, several Vierks fleets had been neutralized. Thousands of ships were disabled, and their command structure was in chaos. Yet humans remained disciplined, avoiding unnecessary destruction, showing that their power was both immense and controlled. Captain Jack Carter stood on the bridge of the Intrepid Dawn, watching the battle reports scroll across the holographic display. His crew worked efficiently, calmly, without panic. The Vierk's Dominion had learned a harsh lesson. Humans were not what they seemed. Ryan Cole approached him. They're beginning to retreat in some sectors. The colony is safe. Casualties are minimal on our side. We're winning. Jack nodded slowly. Yes, but this is only the start. The galaxy underestimated us for too long. They will continue to test us, push us, and challenge us. Our job is to make sure every one of them remembers this day. Elsewhere, Dr. Lily Brooks discovered evidence that the Vierks had been coordinating with other species, trying to call for reinforcements. They still hope for help, she said. They don't realize the galaxy has already started paying attention. Once humans fully unleash what we have been holding back, no one will ignore our warnings again. Admiral Kevin Harper addressed the world. Today, humanity has proven a truth we have known for decades. We have held back, restrained our power, and shown patience. The galaxy has ignored our warnings, and now they see what happens when humans choose to defend themselves fully. We fight to protect, and we will not be stopped. As night fell across Earth, Captain Jack Carter continued to command the human fleets. The Vierk's Dominion was retreating in confusion, but Jack knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had ignored humanity's warnings for too long. The coming days would be a reckoning, and the galaxy would remember this battle for centuries. Humans had held back for generations, choosing peace over power. Now, the first strike of retaliation had begun, and the message was clear. The galaxy could no longer doubt Earth. The Vierk's Dominion had suffered a shocking defeat. Their fleets were shattered, their colonies defended, and their confidence broken. But the humans were not finished. Captain Jack Carter knew the battle was only the beginning. The galaxy had ignored Earth's warnings for too long, and now it was time to show the full extent of human power. Jack stood on the bridge of the Intrepid Dawn, watching the Vierks retreat into deep space. He felt no satisfaction in destruction. Humans had always preferred restraint, but he knew this was necessary. If the galaxy thought humans were weak, that misunderstanding could cost millions of lives. "Captain," Commander Ryan Cole said, his voice tense. "They're falling back, but they're trying to regroup near the Vierk's home system. This could be dangerous. That system is heavily defended." Jack nodded. "I know, but they forced our hand. We gave them warnings and they ignored them. It's time to confront them directly. The galaxy must see that we are not bluffing." On Earth, Admiral Kevin Harper was already coordinating the next phase. Human fleets that had been exploring distant sectors were recalled and deployed to strategic points near Vierk's space. Communications were sent to every human colony. Prepare for offensive operations but minimize civilian risk. Humanity's goal was clear: demonstrate strength, protect life, and teach the galaxy that Earth's warnings were not empty words. Dr. Lily Brooks worked in the Intelligence Command Center, decoding more Vierk's transmissions. Her brow furrowed as she read the messages. "They are panicked," she said to Miles Turner, who worked beside her. "They thought they could strike us quickly. They thought humans would give up after losing a few colonies. They don't understand us at all." Miles shook his head. "Do you think they will surrender if we strike directly at their home system?" Lily smiled faintly. "They don't get to surrender. They ignored the warnings. They forced our hand. The galaxy will understand what humans are capable of." Meanwhile, Ambassador Claire Dawson continued to monitor the Galactic Council. Her patience, built over decades of ignored warnings, had finally borne fruit. Alien representatives were shocked. They had thought Earth's power was limited, its restraint a sign of weakness. Now they were beginning to see the truth. "They still don't fully understand," she muttered, "but soon they will." The human fleets moved with purpose. Every ship, every crew member had trained for this moment. Jack Carter coordinated the movements carefully. The Vierk's home system was a maze of asteroids, planetary defenses, and energy shields. One wrong move could lead to disaster. But humans had studied every possibility, running simulations that no alien species could imagine. "Captain," Ryan said, pointing to the tactical display, "their outer defenses are minimal. They seem to be concentrating all their forces closer to the planet. If we strike now, we can cut off their reinforcements." Jack considered the situation. "Agreed. Prepare the strike teams, but remember restraint. We don't destroy unless necessary. We protect, but we teach a lesson." In orbit around the Vierk's home planet, the human fleet appeared like shadows among the stars. The Vierk's command had gathered their remaining ships and planetary defenses, expecting another human attack, but nothing like this. The humans moved with precision, anticipating every strategy the Vierk's tried. The first shots were fired by human ships. Not wild, chaotic blasts, but careful, calculated strikes aimed to disable weapons and communication systems. Vierk's ships attempted to respond, but human tactics were faster, sharper, smarter. The Vierk's fleet found itself outmaneuvered at every turn. Jack watched the battle unfold. "Ryan, adjust the attack vector. Take out their missile platforms first. We want them to see that they can't control us." Ryan nodded, issuing orders to the subordinate ships. The attack was swift and efficient. Vierk's missile platforms exploded in sequence, leaving the fleet exposed. Human ships avoided unnecessary destruction, disabling vessels without killing crews when possible. Dr. Lily Brooks monitored the communications again. She laughed softly. "They're trying to call for reinforcements from other systems. They still don't understand that humans have been holding back and now our patience is ending." Miles looked puzzled. "How can they be so confident before and now so panicked?" Lily shook her head. "Humans are unpredictable to them. We have experience, strategy, and restraint. We don't fight recklessly, we fight smart. They thought they could overwhelm us because they underestimated our choices." On Earth, Admiral Harper addressed the public. "Humans have held back for centuries. Our restraint has been a choice, not a limitation. The Vierk's Dominion thought we were weak. They were wrong. The galaxy will learn that our warnings were not empty words." As the battle progressed, Jack realized that the Vierk's were desperate. Their outer defenses had fallen and their fleet was scattered. Some ships tried to flee, others tried to regroup near the planetary surface. Every move the Vierk's made was anticipated by the humans. "Captain," Ryan said, "they are attempting to hide in the asteroid belt. Should we pursue?" Jack shook his head. "No. Let them see the consequences of ignoring warnings. Our goal is not to destroy them completely, but to show the galaxy that humans cannot be underestimated." The humans had prepared for the possibility that the Vierk's might try to strike civilians or hidden colonies. Every human strike was precise, aimed to avoid unnecessary loss of life. The humans were teaching a lesson. Power without control is dangerous, but power with restraint is unstoppable. Ambassador Dawson continued her work. She sent messages to other species in the galaxy, showing intercepted communications and human strategies. The galaxy began to understand Earth's true power. Aliens that had once mocked humans now watched in awe and fear. "Captain," Ryan said, "the Vierk's command ship is attempting to escape toward the planet's orbit. If it reaches the surface, it could rally defenses and prolong the fight." Jack studied the display. "We can't allow that. Prepare the strike team, but remember restraint. Disable, don't destroy if possible." The strike team moved swiftly. Human ships coordinated perfectly, disabling the Vierk's command ship's engines and weapons. The vessel drifted helplessly, and the Vierk's crew realized that humans were not just powerful, they were precise and disciplined. Dr. Lily Brooks observed the transmissions from the command ship. "They are begging for surrender," she said. "They finally understand that humans are serious. Too little, too late." Miles looked at her amazed. "Do you think they will ever fully understand why humans held back for so long?" Lily nodded. Eventually, they will understand that restraint is a form of strength, and ignoring it has consequences. That lesson will stay with the galaxy for generations. On the surface of the Vyark's home planet, civilians watched the distant battles unfold. Many had lived their lives believing humans were weak, that Earth was insignificant. Now they saw the truth. Human ships moved with precision, protecting colonies, disabling weapons, and showing the galaxy that Earth had not been powerless. Jack received a message from Earth. Admiral Harper's voice was calm but firm. "Captain Carter, the situation is progressing as expected. Continue with the operation but maintain discipline. The galaxy must understand that human power is controlled, precise, and moral." Jack nodded. "Understood, Admiral. We will teach them the lesson they ignored for decades." The Vyark's fleet had no choice but to retreat. Their command structure was broken, their weapons systems disabled, and their morale shattered. They had underestimated humans at every step. Ryan Cole looked at the display, a mix of exhaustion and satisfaction on his face. "They're retreating. The system is almost under control. We've done more than defend. We've shown the galaxy what humans can do." Jack smiled faintly. "Yes, but we're not finished. The message is clear, but the lesson must be complete. The galaxy must understand that ignoring Earth's warnings comes at a cost." Dr. Lily Brooks intercepted the last communications from the Vyark's command. "They are contacting other species," she said. "They are admitting defeat. They are begging for terms. The galaxy will know that Earth has been serious all along." Ambassador Dawson watched the holographic feed. "This is what I have been waiting for. For decades we have warned them. For decades they laughed and ignored us. Now they finally see the truth. The humans had achieved a decisive victory without unnecessary bloodshed. Their restraint, their intelligence, and their discipline had turned the tide of war. The Vyark's dominion was humbled, and the galaxy was forced to take notice." Captain Jack Carter looked at the stars, the distant remnants of the battle glowing faintly. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "The galaxy has ignored our warnings for too long. Now they know what happens when humans stop holding back." Ryan Cole placed a hand on his shoulder. "Do you think they'll ever fully respect humans?" Jack shook his head. "Not fully, but they will remember, and that is enough." As the human fleets prepared to return to Earth, the galaxy was changing. The Vyark's dominion would no longer act with arrogance. Other species who had once mocked humans now watched with caution and respect. The story of Earth's restraint and power spread quickly, reaching systems that had never thought humans were a serious force. "Doctor." Lily Brooks turned to Miles Turner. "This is just the beginning. The galaxy is learning that humans do not strike first unnecessarily, but when we act decisively." Miles nodded, understanding the weight of their actions. "The galaxy will never underestimate Earth again." Admiral Harper addressed the human command. "We have shown the galaxy what humanity is capable of. Let this be a warning. Restraint does not mean weakness. Patience does not mean incapacity. Humans have held back and we have warned the galaxy. Now, the consequences of ignoring those warnings are clear." Captain Jack Carter looked at the stars one last time before preparing the intrepid Dawn for the journey home. Humanity had fought with precision, intelligence, and restraint. They had protected their colonies, defeated the Vyark's fleet, and sent a clear message to the galaxy. Earth would not be underestimated again. And in that quiet moment, Jack knew that the galaxy would never forget the lesson humans had taught. The Vyark's dominion had fallen back, broken and humiliated, but the galaxy was far from calm. Across star systems, whispers of humanity's power spread like fire. Every species that had once laughed at Earth now watched with fear and respect. Humans had proven they were not to be underestimated, and the warnings that had gone ignored for decades had finally been taken seriously. Captain Jack Carter stood on the bridge of the intrepid Dawn, staring at the calm blue of a distant planet through the viewports. His crew worked quietly, having long ago mastered the precision and patience that defined humanity in battle. Captain Commander Ryan Cole said, breaking the silence, "The Vierks are attempting to negotiate. They're sending envoys and messages directly to us now. They want terms." Jack's eyes narrowed. "They waited too long to respect the warnings. They forced our hand. Now they'll see what happens when humans decide enough is enough." On Earth, Admiral Kevin Harper addressed the joint human fleets. Every ship in orbit, every warship that had hidden for decades had been deployed. The humans had not sought conquest, but they had prepared to teach the galaxy a lesson it could not ignore. "We have held back for generations," Harper said over communications. "We have restrained our strength, shown patience, and warned the galaxy repeatedly. Those warnings were ignored. Now humanity will act, not recklessly, not out of anger, but decisively. The galaxy will pay the price for ignoring our words." Dr. Lily Brooks monitored Vierk's communications and watched their panic unfold. "They don't understand us," she said to Miles Turner, who stood beside her in the command center. "They thought humans were small, weak, and unprepared. They assumed we would stop after the first battles. They are learning too late that humans have been holding back for decades. That patience has power, and now that power is coming for them." Miles swallowed nervously. "Do you think other species will intervene?" Lily shook her head. "No one will. The galaxy is finally paying attention, but too many have already learned the hard way that humans cannot be ignored." The Vierks sent emissaries, begging for peace. Their fleets were crippled, their colonies vulnerable, and their morale shattered. But humans did not act out of cruelty. They acted to protect their people and to ensure no one in the galaxy could ever doubt Earth again. Jack gave his orders calmly. "Prepare for an operation to disable their military infrastructure permanently. Focus only on what is necessary. Civilians must be protected. Let the galaxy see our power, but also our restraint." The human fleets moved with precision toward the Vierk's capital system. Their ships glided silently through space, each one a symbol of humanity's discipline and strategy. Every maneuver was calculated, every strike controlled. The Vierks scrambled, trying desperately to defend their planets and fleets, but humans anticipated every move. Commander Ryan Cole led a strike team toward the main Vierks military station. Their weapons disabled energy shields, disrupted communications, and neutralized command systems without unnecessary loss of life. The Vierks crews were forced to abandon their posts, realizing that humans could strike anywhere, at any time, with perfect control. Dr. Lily Brooks monitored the strikes from Earth. "They're begging for mercy," she said quietly. "It's finally sinking in. They misjudged us for decades. They ignored our warnings, and now they see the consequences." Ambassador Claire Dawson addressed the Galactic Council via holographic transmission. Her voice was calm but firm. "For decades, Earth has warned every species in the galaxy about our power. We have restrained ourselves, choosing patience and peace. But the galaxy ignored our warnings. Now humanity acts to protect itself and to show the truth. Ignoring Earth comes at a cost." Across the galaxy, alien leaders whispered among themselves. Fear had replaced arrogance. Species that once mocked humans now considered them a force beyond reckoning. They realized that Earth's restraint had not been weakness, but wisdom. In orbit above the Vierk's homeworld, Captain Jack Carter watched as his fleets disabled the last remaining defensive installations. The Vierk's leadership tried to escape, but their ships were intercepted by human strike teams. The message was clear: humans would not forgive negligence or arrogance. They would act decisively when pushed too far. "Captain," Ryan said, "their fleets are completely neutralized. Their home system is defenseless. Civilians are safe. We've done everything necessary to protect life and make our point clear." Jack nodded. "Good. This is exactly what we intended. They now understand what humans are capable of." This is a lesson the galaxy will remember for centuries. Dr. Lily Brooks analyzed the final communications from the Vierk's leadership. They are admitting defeat, she said. They are accepting our terms. They finally understand that Earth's warnings were serious and that humans were never holding back out of weakness. They misjudged us, and now they are paying the price. Miles Turner looked at her wide-eyed. Do you think they will ever fully understand why humans waited so long to act? Lily smiled faintly. Eventually, they will understand that restraint is not weakness, that patience is not inability, that humanity chose to hold back, not because we could not strike, but because we knew the value of waiting. That lesson will stay with the galaxy forever. Captain Jack Carter addressed his crew. Humans have acted with restraint and with power. We have protected our colonies, defended our people, and shown the galaxy what we can do. But we do not seek conquest. Our goal has never been domination, but understanding. The galaxy must learn that ignoring Earth comes at a cost, and that humans choose when and how to act. That is our strength. The Vierk's leaders were brought before human representatives on a secure station near the system's edge. They bowed, humbled and fearful, understanding that they had been wrong. They had underestimated humans for decades, believing Earth to be weak, and their mistake had brought consequences they could not undo. Admiral Kevin Harper addressed the assembly. Humans have always sought peace, but we are not weak. We have warned the galaxy repeatedly. We have restrained our strength, choosing patience and diplomacy. Those who ignored our warnings now understand the cost of arrogance. Let this be a lesson to all civilizations. Earth will not forgive neglect of caution, and humanity's patience is not endless. Ambassador Claire Dawson stood nearby, observing the proceedings. For years, I pleaded with the Council to take our warnings seriously, she said. The galaxy ignored us. Now humans have acted. The lesson is clear. Underestimate Earth at your own peril. Captain Jack Carter looked out at the stars, feeling a quiet satisfaction. Humanity had acted decisively, but wisely. Every strike had been calculated, every move disciplined. Humans had shown that power with control was more terrifying than power without restraint. Commander Ryan Cole approached him. Do you think they will ever respect us fully? Jack shook his head. Not fully, but they will fear and respect us enough to listen next time. That is what matters. The galaxy cannot ignore Earth again. Our patience has a limit, and now the limit has been reached. Dr. Lily Brooks reviewed the final reports from the Vierk system. The galaxy will change after this. Species that once ignored Earth will think twice before testing us. Our restraint was a choice, but now the galaxy knows that choice has limits, and crossing those limits comes at a cost. Miles Turner looked at her in awe. We really changed the galaxy, didn't we? Lily nodded. Yes, humans have always held back. But when we act with purpose, discipline, and control. The galaxy will never forget this moment. Across the human fleets, celebrations were quiet but heartfelt. Crew members knew they had fought not for revenge, but to protect their people and teach the galaxy a lesson it could not ignore. Humanity had shown that it could wield great power without cruelty. That restraint was a choice stronger than fear, and that patience was a weapon in itself. Captain Jack Carter addressed the combined fleet one final time. Humans have acted with purpose. We have defended our people, demonstrated our strength, and taught the galaxy what patience and restraint mean. Remember this moment. The galaxy will never underestimate us again. We warned them. They ignored us, and now they have paid the price. As the fleets returned to Earth, the galaxy watched in awe. The Vierk's dominion was humbled. Other species reconsidered their approach to Earth, and humans finally had the respect they had long deserved. Humanity had not sought conquest, but it had ensured its place in the galaxy. Admiral Harper sent one last message to all human colonies. The galaxy now understands that humanity's patience is not weakness. Our restraint has been our strength. We have defended ourselves, protected life, and shown what it means to be human. Let this victory remind us that the power to act wisely is the greatest power of all. Captain Jack Carter watched Earth growing closer through the ship's viewports. The battle was over, but its lesson would echo across the stars for generations. Humans had held back for decades, warning the galaxy of their capabilities. The galaxy had ignored them. Now it had learned the cost. Dr. Lily Brooks turned to Miles Turner. The galaxy will remember Earth. Humans are not just another species. We are a force to be reckoned with. We are patient, disciplined, and strong, and we never forget. Miles nodded, understanding the weight of their actions. They will never ignore us again. And as the human fleets entered orbit around Earth, the message was clear. Humanity had held back for centuries, choosing restraint and patience. The galaxy had ignored those warnings. Now humans had acted, and the lesson was unforgettable. Underestimate Earth at your own peril. The galaxy would never doubt the humans again.